What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the FN Studios. I am John Ramdeen alongside Robin Black, and we were discussing the December 30th date, UFC 207 happening. It is the return of Ronda Rousey as she will be taking on Amanda Nunes for the 135-pound championship. The UFC recently announcing that Dominick Cruz will defend his title against your boy, the neck tattoo guy, Cody Garbrandt. Also, the UFC has also announced it will be the rematch between Fabricio Verdun and the former heavyweight champion, Cain Velasquez. A sensational card. However, the fans in Toronto were ticked off. You get 205, possibly the greatest card ever assembled. This 207 card, which is shaping up quite nicely. However, UFC 206, I guess, still lacking the bells and whistles for the casual fans. I've actually heard, let's boycott the card.
Nah, come on.
I agree. I understand
really?
what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, like we're not going to want to be in the arena when Doo Ho Choi fights Cub Swanson, you know, or Daniel Cormier fights Anthony Johnson. We're also hearing rumors. We don't want to put stuff out there.
No, let's put stuff out there.
But let's put some stuff out there.
Nick Diaz. That's what we're hearing.
We're hearing that. Anyone else picking up Nick Diaz for UFC 206?
They got to make that happen.
That would change everybody's perspective
immediately. 100%. You're looking for the biggest stars out there, and Nick Diaz certainly one of those. But we got to switch our focus because
BJ Penn, we still want you here, man. I'll take you for tacos.
In different matches. BJ in a different match, Nick Diaz in a different match. We already saw that. But UFC 207, Dominick Cruz, Cody Garbrandt. Is it too much too soon for Cody Garbrandt? Because you believe that Dominick Cruz is possibly, and Daniel Cormier also believes that Dominick Cruz, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point because I've been really, I'm working on the McGregor versus Alvarez breakdown, and I'm involving risk-taking and getting hit and not getting hit and stuff. So I've looked at the best a lot over the last few weeks, and I've always been a fan of Dominick Cruz, Demetrius Johnson, a number of these guys. I'm having a hard time finding anybody out there that currently I think is a better fighter, a better, sort of evolution of fighting than Dominick Cruz. I mean, you look at it, I was showing you footage of reversing takedowns with Uriah Faber. I was showing you choices that he was making that were intentional. It's one thing, you can't touch him, you can't hit him, you can't understand him. He's speaking different languages that you don't get, but his wrestling, people don't even appreciate it, and the timing, the way he makes you commit to things, the way he makes you misunderstand what's going on. I mean, we're looking at 2 stages of evolution past the best right now. It's really shocking how good he is. And when you said your boy, neck tattoos, I think I have misrepresented my appreciation for this kid.
Yeah, we love him.
This kid is a fantastic fighter. The way that he puts his hands together, I love it. The way he puts his footwork inside the hand combinations, I love it. The power that he's able to generate. Look at his step off there, gets a new angle on it. Cody Garbrandt is a real top 1% bantamweight in the world, but we're asking him to go and fight the best fighter on the planet right now. And I'm super pumped to break it down. There's a lot of really interesting ways to look at it. But Dominick Cruz, man, I've spent just a very small amount of time getting to watch him work even and try to pick his brain. His mind, that's the weapon. To be able to foresee years ahead and go, well, this could be a way that I could beat everybody. And then to look at it and go, well, that'll require 6 or 8 years of study, trial, error, improvement, etc. And he's such a long play guy that a decade ago he was planning how to be this good now.
For Cody Garbrandt, is it just a situation where, you know what, in order for me to become the fighter that I hope I'm going to be or that I need to be, I have to go in there and face the riddle like Dominick Cruz. We have an opportunity to call a match at TKO 36. Xavier Aloui, who is a top prospect in Canada from the TriStar gym, what we feel kind of biting off more than he can chew, taking on Josh Hill, a guy that fought Marlon Moraes for 25 minutes. And if you know who Marlon Moraes is, he's one of the top guys outside of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. So a lot of these prospects willing to step up to the plate and take the toughest challenges of their career.
Yeah, and I love it. That's why I think Cody Garbrandt is such a great fighter. That's why I'm such a big fan of his. That's why I'm excited about the fight. He is literally saying, you guys don't understand. I'm the best fighter in the world. That takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of balls, but it's also a self-awareness question. Are you? Are you really? Are you capable of this? That is self-awareness. But the only thing he can do, I can't control what that guy's going to do. I can't control the variables. I can control being the best Cody Garbrandt, the most focused, in the best shape, mentally the strongest, ready to perform better than I've ever performed. That's what he can control. I still have a hard time seeing him as I analyze how he moves, tracking down Dom, and even understanding Dom. And there are a few, maybe BJJ Scout, maybe a handful of people that have analyzed Dominick Cruz in the world more than I have, and I'm telling you, the more you understand about what he's doing, the more questions are raised. You start to see what number of levels he's working on with misdirection and timing and sending you and telling you lies, and he is another level, man.
But when you think of Dominick Cruz and his evolution already, whether it be in the WEC or now in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, where are the next stages of evolution for Dominick Cruz?
He believes that where he is now, the next level is higher. So he's a black belt in everything he does. Well, whether that's actually what he's wearing or we're using that as an assignment, a benchmark where he is. But in his mind, he's a purple belt. Black belt is so far in the distance. He's so far ahead of everybody else in their understanding of what you can do with rhythm and timing and space and misdirection and abrupt movement changes and all that. And he still believes he's got a long way to go. That's a powerful, powerful thing. The guy's mind is his weapon. It's his greatest weapon.
UFC 207 going down on December 30th. The following night, the World Series of Fighting will hold their show in New York City, December 31st, New Year's Eve. A slew of great fighters. Justin Gaethje in the main event, taking on Zeffirino. You'll also have, again, I don't even know if that's the main event. When you look at it, is it that? Or is John Fitch and Jake Shields? They're fighting for the welterweight championship. I guess that could be the main event. Dave Branch also looking to defend his title. So a slew of title fights. Marlon Moraes also on this card. When you look at the World Series of Fighting, they've just canceled a couple of shows. Do you believe that this is a last-ditch effort? And again, this is going to be a great day of mixed martial arts, December 31st, the main card going down live on Fight Network at 4 p.m. Eastern. Do you believe this is a last-ditch effort from them? Let's do what we can, try to attract this hardcore audience, because if the formula hasn't worked in the past, maybe we'll put our biggest names on the card to draw their attention.
Well, let's look at this a different way. We are their broadcast partner, and we're showing that. It's December 31st in the afternoon. That's a pretty great time to watch fighting. So watch the show. They have the top of what they have. If you want to keep seeing mixed martial arts at this level, you got to watch it. And if you're not going to watch this show, man, you got their top guys, all of their top fights, all in one night. We'll see you December 31st here at Fight Network.
Justin Gaethje, Robin, you would imagine if the World Series of Fighting organization decided to release him from his contract or whatever happens with the promotion, that he will certainly land in one of the biggest promotions in the world, whether that be the Ultimate Fighting Championship. He's a teammate of Rose Namajunas, so you would expect that there's a natural progression for him to just make the move over to the UFC. Or would Bellator try to grab a hold of this guy?
I'm sure they would try to, but this is a guy who likes competition. It is freaky, man. As we're talking about Dominick Cruz, the Sap Alvarez score, what I'm working on now for the breakdown, is Dominick Cruz has built his entire career out of don't get touched, get hits for chumps, and don't take any damage. He's unwilling to take damage unnecessarily. This guy's the opposite end of it. This is old school Eddie Alvarez. He is the biggest action fighter, the highest action fighter going, yet at the same time, he's never lost. He's never lost as a pro. He's never lost as an amateur. So when you compare that, Dominick Cruz, in theory, is the better long-term play, is take no risks and take no damage and strut around and realize that taking damage is for chumps. But on the other end of the spectrum, this guy has never lost, despite the highest level of risk-taking and the highest willingness to embrace suffering.
And I think that's what you have to do. If you're not fighting in the UFC, you have to make yourself an attraction. And that's exactly what Justin Gaethje has been able to do. He's been able to make a lot of money fighting outside of the UFC. And we're not talking about the number 2 organization. Who knows where World Series of Fighting is? Are they number 3? Are they number 5? Are they number 10 in the world? But we know that because of Justin Gaethje, when fans know that he's fighting, they flock to the card, they watch him, because, like you mentioned, the old school Eddie Alvarez approach where I can take it, Can you take it? Because I'm going to be able to dish out more than you can dish out to me.
Yeah, this is just what doesn't make any sense, though. It's one thing to look at a guy and see that he's capable of doing all of that in the fire, in real time, and exciting people. What doesn't make any sense is that risk-taking behavior combined with his willingness and ability to tolerate extreme suffering. Together, he's never lost. Those in the long run, over tons and tons of fights, that is a losing equation. And yet this phenom, this complete exception to it, is that exciting, that tough, action fighter, never lost. That doesn't even make any sense. It's incredible.
It is going to be an exciting weekend full of mixed martial arts. UFC 207 going down on the Saturday, and then World Series of Fighting Sunday afternoon. Don't forget to catch Fight News Now every Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. You can join John Pollock, Robin Black, and myself.